Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, confusion and frustration over Xcel's new pricing system. Customers will have to pay more during peak hours, a busy time for many families.
That's when we're home watching TV. The kids are on, the laptops or computers doing their homeworks, and, a lot of energy is used at that time, like cooking, dishwashers, stoves.
So we are going to the company with your questions on how you can opt out.
A major Colorado company is pulling business out of Russia in response to the invasion of Ukraine. We're getting new footage of the damage as Russia claims it's backing off.
And Coloradans are showing their support for Ukraine.
I thought, what can I do? I can't do anything, but I have all these wonderful fabric scraps that can generate money if they're put together artistically.
It was like everybody else just really wanted to help, and I knew it would take a little bit of a leap out of my comfort zone to do it, since I didn't know what I was getting into.
And so a veterinarian and a group of quilters, two very different ways of helping, but two very great stories coming up.
Everyone using whatever skills they have.
That's right,
resources,
helping any way they can. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Lisa, I kind of liked the rain yesterday. It's kind of nice to see a little moisture. We certainly need it.
It is good. We don't get welly weather here often, do we? Or we get to wear our cute rain boots. Yeah, it didn't last long. We picked up a little. It was nice that the humidity had been higher and the temps had dropped a bit, so the fire danger was a lot lower. Today, though, you can see where skies are already starting to clear out this morning. In the mountains, we're going to pick up a little bit more snow. Most of that snow falling above 10,000 feet. And there will be a few more inches, it looks like 1 to 3 inches here through the morning hours. Right now in town, we do have quite a bit of cloud cover. It's chilly out there. At this point yesterday, we were in the 40s and 50s. Now we're talking 20s, and it's going to feel more like teens. Denver, a wind chill right now of 14 degrees. So it's a chilly start. Lakewood right now, you're just below freezing. Littleton 29. To the north, Erie and Firestone right around freezing there too. We will see a decent warm up though today, near 50 by this afternoon, and that sunshine's going to feel pretty good. Now tomorrow it gets even warmer. Today, one of the bigger issues will be the winds kicking up, and we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a few minutes.
And we do have some wet weather even up into the high country. Loveland Pass remains closed down, and Highway 133 there in Pitkin County outside of Carbondale, it's now closed because of a major rock slide that Pitkin County Sheriff's Office is telling me. We do have a lot of fog here in the Genesee area. Up in Boulder, it looks basically dry. Up in Loveland over at Highway 34 looks okay. Down in Monument, not too bad for us here. I'm expecting a little bit more slush here, but actually it looks pretty good down through that south side project, even though the plows are out as you just see them rolling on that northbound side. Take a look at the drive that we have here across downtown Denver at 38th. Basically dry for you. Just about anywhere you want to go, it's dry conditions. You can see that on the map here. A lot of green out there, north, south, east, or west, including to or from the airport. So just a bit, we'll take a look at all the drive times, but they're pretty standard for us right now.
We do want to alert you to some breaking news and a large police presence in Aurora this morning. And we've just learned from Aurora police a woman has died after a shooting at this scene. This is near East Mexico and South Dayton in Aurora. Police say there's a large presence out there. They have not arrested any suspect in that shooting yet. This is the second deadly shooting in Aurora over the past 24 hours. Yesterday morning, a woman was killed and another wounded in a shooting at an apartment complex near the Aurora Hills Golf Course. Police have not named any suspect in that case. Xcel Energy is changing the way it charges customers, and so you could be charged more depending on the time of day you use electricity.
Yeah, some people have already made the switch to the new pricing structure. Others are confused about it. Want to bring in Denver 7's Veronica Acosta. What's the biggest sticking point here, Veronica?
Well, customers, they're going to be shelling out nearly 3 times what they're already paying during these peak hours. So peak hours between 3 in the afternoon and 7 in the evening. In that window of time, that's when students usually get home from school. They start working on that homework. Parents also getting home from work. They're making dinner, even watching TV. Xcel is calling this its time of use program. It's a program you can opt out of. We reached out to Xcel and asked what rates are if you choose to opt out of that program. Officials said you pay 12 cents per kilowatt hour in the winter and then 14 cents in the summer. If you go ahead and opt in, you pay 10 cents per kilowatt during those off-peak hours in the summer, and then 28 cents during peak hours in the winter rather. So as you can imagine, it's less during the winter. We spoke with one grandmother who's confused and worried about that price hike.
because that's when we're home watching TV. The kids are on, you know, the laptops or computers doing their homeworks, and you know, a lot of energy is used at that time of night, cooking, you know, dishwashers, stoves. With inflation and everything that's going on in the world, that, you know, things are going to go up a little, and things are going to get, you know, a little harder and rougher for everybody.
And so, just so you know, this only applies to residential customers. It does not rather apply to commercial. If you are interested in opting out, we have a link over on our website, thedenverchannel.com, that walks you through how you can do that. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
On top of inflation and all the other things going up these days. All right, thank you, Veronica. How can you save money with the time of use pricing by Xcel? Well, the energy company says to be flexible, try to avoid the big energy users during peak times. Things like the dishwasher, the washing machine and dryer, the AC. Try to do those things overnight or on the weekends, which we know is easier said than done. Also, you won't have a lot of money, won't save a lot of money by not using your TV or computer during those peak hours. Those are not big energy users.
Well, after in-person talks between Russia and Ukraine, Russia said it will drastically reduce combat operations around Kyiv and the city of Chernihiv. However, overnight there were more explosions in suburbs right outside the capital of Kyiv. The Pentagon confirmed some Russian troops were pulling away from there, but officials suspect those troops will just reposition somewhere else. New images out of Mariupol, meanwhile, show the devastating aftermath after weeks of assaults there and missile attacks. Residential areas destroyed, and about 100,000 civilians are still trapped. Images show some long lines forming outside grocery stores as people are desperate for supplies. Overnight, the UN Refugee Agency said more than 4 million refugees have now fled Ukraine since Russia launched this war. Well, aluminum can giant Ball Corporation is pulling business out of Russia. The Westminster-based company plans to sell its growing manufacturing business there in response to the war. The Denver Business Journal reports the company's Russian business division generated 4% of its nearly $14 billion in worldwide revenue in 2021. A Colorado veterinarian traveled all the way to the Ukrainian border to provide free services to families fleeing with their pets.
Yeah, Denver 7's Christian Lopez joined us in studio this morning because, Christian, you had a chance to talk to him about why he decided to go help.
I did, and like everyone else, he wanted to do his part to help, and he told me that it ended up being an experience that he'll never forget.
Here's our area where we have a treatment table and our little waiting area.
John Geller is a veterinarian from Fort Collins. His passion for helping animals brought him here to the Ukraine-Romania border.
It was like everybody else, just really wanted to help, and I knew it would take a little bit of a leap out of my comfort zone to do it, since I didn't know what I was getting into.
His nonprofit Street Dog Coalition set up this pop-up vet tent in an area that sees hundreds of families passing through every day.
When they want to leave, they want to bring their pets, but there's a lot of requirements for them to travel through Europe, through Eastern Europe, with pets.
He's helping them with that, offering pet vaccines, pet passports, and whatever else families need to make sure their furry companions can travel with them safely.
They really are worried about their pets because for some of them, they just would feel lost without them. And so it's really important for them to know their pets are going to be able to travel and are healthy to do so.
Well, especially because pets bring us so much comfort.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, we definitely saw some families today with young kids, and the whole family is so bonded their pets.
He showed us around the Asacha border crossing station where he's set up.
You can see their pots. What's for dinner tonight?
Well, we have chicken soup.
Okay.
Lentil soup, as usual.
I love lentil soup.
It has expanded into a safe space where volunteers from all over the world are coming together to help, offering families a hot meal and a place to rest.
They get their paperwork done. They get warmed up. They eat some food. They get on a bus that is taking them mostly to Bucharest, but maybe other places too.
An experience John says has been life-changing.
It's amazing to see how unifying, even though it's a horrible event, how unifying this war has been. And it makes you appreciate just, I guess, a more international perspective.
And it was such a pleasure to talk to him and see everything that they had set up. You saw that they had food, they had a warming tent, they had all these different services for people that were going through. And he actually has a nonprofit here in Colorado as well, where he helps people who are experiencing homelessness. He gives medical care to their pets here in Colorado.
Oh my gosh, does so much.
It's so great to see the different languages printed everywhere and to see that international effort there. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christian. Some seniors here in Colorado have also found a way to support Ukrainians right now. Residents of River Point Senior Living in Littleton are sewing what were blue and yellow scraps of fabric to create quilts. It'll likely take 2 more months to complete 4 quilts, and then they'll be auctioned off to raise money for a nonprofit to donate to. If you have an idea of which nonprofit they might be able to help, you can contact them through information at thedenverchannel.com.
Well, from the grocery store aisle to your favorite restaurant, food prices are staying high. How much more you could be spending to eat?
Plus, we are hearing from the Broncos' new offensive lineman, what he has to say about blocking for another star quarterback.